you so much for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron. Let's get right into talking about the Indianapolis Colts and the Indiana Hoosiers. So we got a couple of games coming up tomorrow. The Hoosiers and the Colts play. Indiana playing Army at Assembly Hall, and the Colts playing the Patriots 9:30 in the a.m. in Germany. This is going to be, well, I don't know what kind of game this is going to be between the Colts and the Patriots. It's like anything could happen in this game. It's a battle of two bad teams. What team is going to be the worst out of the two? Man, we'll talk about in this episode, what are some of the main things the Colts are going to have to do. One of the things is the bad on bad. Their wide receivers are bad and our secondary is bad. So what gives with all of that? Who's going to win those matchups? That's going to be critical in this game. But before we get into the episode, let's thank our sponsor, Reynolds Wrap. For 75 years, Reynolds Wrap has been making everyday aluminum foil that helps save you time in the kitchen. When making anything, use Reynolds Wrap to line sheet pans, line your grill, cover things with it. I use it as lids if I can't find a lid. Reynolds Wrap, it's so versatile, you'll have a hard time finding any more uses for this stuff. I use it for absolutely everything. Get back to the game faster after halftime by using Reynolds Wrap this Sunday during the big game. Thank you to them for sponsoring this video, Reynolds Wrap. All right, let's get into talking about the Colts first. Let's talk about injuries. So Ogletree is out for this game, and also Juju Brents is out for this game in the secondary. So we are going to see more of the backups. I know Tony Brown, he was injured last week. He probably is coming back in the secondary, but that is going to be one key matchup we need to look at this Colts-Patriots game. The wide receivers for the Patriots, Juju Smith-Schuster, their leading wide receiver. I looked at his stats. Their leading wide receiver would have the stats of the third or fourth best wide receiver on the Colts. So we can see the Patriots, they struggle to throw the ball. Mac Jones, if you can get pressure on him, that's going to be a main component of this game. We got bad on bad. Their bad wide receivers against our bad secondary. So something's going to have to give there. What's really going to happen for the Colts, we're going to have to get pressure at least around the edge by Kwity Paye or Buckner or somebody so that secondary can have enough time. They can hold up and they make Mac Jones throw the ball quickly so they don't have to hold up in coverage for like 4, 5, 6 seconds while Mac Jones just sits back there in the pocket. If that happens, Mac Jones will be able to dice up the Colts in the passing game, and we can't let that happen. So that is going to be what I see as the main critical matchup in this. Now, the other one is going to be Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots defense going against the Colts offensive line. Bill Belichick has shown in the past. Now, when we had Ellinger last year, I know that's just a one-off situation where, and Frank Reich was still the coach then. That was one of his last games coaching. But Belichick was just able to get after the quarterback. And if he's able to do that, there were like 9 sacks of Ellinger in that game. It was just an absolute shit show, to say the least. I mean, that's just about how it was. It was one of the worst games ever. That one really creeps into my mind when I'm thinking about playing the Patriots in this game this weekend, because Minshew's back there, kind of a similar, he's a similar type player to Ellinger in the fact that Ellinger probably has a stronger arm to throw the ball down the field, but the defenses we've played recently, like the Saints and the Browns, that are able to kind of like squash the field in. They know Minshew can't throw the ball down the field that far, so they're going to come up and be within about 20 yards of that line of scrimmage. And that just makes it really difficult to do a lot of things. A lot of teams have had 8 guys in the box to try to stop our running game, because that's our main strength, is trying to run the ball with Moss and Taylor. Will Belichick be able to, kind of shrink the field down and make the short passes for Minshew tough? I'm going to just put this out there. Like, what do you think it's like to be the fan of a bad team? It's like something I was thinking about. I mean, I think about all the time, the good times, like I mean, for 10 years, the Colts were just perennial, like one of the best teams in the NFL. Like now we sit here and it's almost like you just play a waiting game. I mean, going into this Patriots game, what do we want to see out of some of these young guys? I mean, now Brent's is hurt. Josh Downs is going to be playing in the game. Definitely he's one of the bright spots of this season. Probably the real breakout bright spot would be Downs and maybe Ogletree that have come on and played well for the Colts. But it is tough being a fan of a bad team because these games, as much as I do want them to beat the Patriots, this season is all about development for next season. And that's really more of what we're watching in these games. So hopefully this is going to be a great game to watch. I love the morning games. I will be live streaming this game from my house most likely, but there's a chance I might be going to church or something like that tomorrow. So if I don't live stream it, that's why. But let's go in. Let's talk about the Indiana Hoosiers basketball team. They're playing Army tomorrow. That is the worst team that is on their schedule. Of the Ken Pom rankings, they are the worst Ken Pom ranking team that Indiana will play this season. They play them at home. Their coach has a lot of ties to Indiana. Was a assistant under Thad Matta last year at Butler before getting the Army job. So we'll see. This will be a game. 3 guys to watch in this game that really did not get comfortable in the first game. Mackenzie Mbako, he really needs to show up and play a good game for the Hoosiers. Also, Caleb Banks needs to show up and score some points in this game. Would be good to see him get like 6 or 8 points. And also CJ Gunn. So CJ Gunn, Mbako, and Caleb Banks. I mean, all those guys, well, Gunn and Banks being in their second year, they really have to step up and produce. I mean, both of those guys, if they could average 8 to 12 points a game, or at least be worth something while they're out there on the court, and just show a little bit more aggressiveness to score some points and be in more of the defense. And Mbako was having a hard time with the defense, is what I've heard from everybody, and he didn't know where to be on defense, so he just couldn't be out there during the game. So the game is going a little bit too fast for him as a freshman. But these 2 guys, Caleb Banks and CJ Gunn, these 2 guys, they have to go and be a little bit better players as sophomores this year for the Hoosiers. So we'll be watching that. We'd just like to see those guys get some points on the board, give them a little bit of confidence going into some of these harder games that we're going to have coming up here shortly. And then the basketball season in a few weeks is going to be, by the time you get to mid-December, you're getting close to like right in the thick of it. And that's coming really quick. It's one of my favorite times of year. We'll be watching all that tomorrow. The Colts in the morning. Tell me what you think about this game. I mean, it's not a very exciting game. It's being played in Germany. I kind of hate these overseas games in some ways, but I mean, it is what it is. They're going to do what they want to do. They want to make the money they want to make, and so they want to promote it over there. So they're playing in Germany tomorrow against the Patriots. It's going to be unpredictable, but tell me what you think about that in the comments down below. Until next time, stay classy out there, Colts and Hoosier fans.